Welcome back to the channel and a new video, not on a Fiat 500, but there is another Fiat 500 here at the moment. You can see in the background, that's the last one that we repaired here, and that is Chris's stepdaughter who's actually at uni. So that is back here for its annual MOT, service, tracking, bit of a valet, and of course that one to go back.
Oh, it's got the normal Fiat 500 fault on the tailgate.
It has, hasn't it? The boot latch has stopped working, which is actually, I'm just going to point that out, Chris. There's a wiring harness here, and actually, do you know what? This one's broken as well. You can't open this boot, it's not working. We've had to manually undo it with the little catch on the inside. But lucky for someone, but a little bit unlucky for Chris. His next stepdaughter is actually 17
next month.
And this is going to be for her.
She doesn't know yet.
No.
She doesn't watch the video, so don't worry.
You're quite safe, yeah.
We're quite safe, yeah.
I think this was a little bargain.
Yeah.
Category N.
Nice little car, actually.
Got the usual, needs a bloody good clean on the white seats.
Bit grubby in there.
The backlights came with it, but you think the insurance company went to assess this?
The images of it, the lights were missing, and we assumed, didn't we, that it's been stripped and should come out of there.
Yeah, it will go.
And so
they've already taken the bumper bar off.
They took the crash bar off, haven't they? And they've took off this retainer that goes along there. But no visible damage there at all.
No, there's not, is there?
No visible damage at all.
One thing to point out, most common fault on these Fiat 500s, apart from that electric, is a rotten back box like the Mini.
Yes, they do.
Have a look.
Oh yes, had a new one.
Had a brand new one put on it.
So we've got the lights. Does require a tailgate.
Yeah.
And the back bumper. So
I can fly down and get you them.
Not a massive job really. Nice quick one. That.
We didn't want a massive amount of work,
not
did you
really?
So
not really. It's
I'll fly down and get you the bits for this. Actually, I'll wait because we've got a lorry on the way with today's project, haven't we?
Yes.
So we'll pick back up as soon as that arrives. They're very, very nice wheels. Probably one of the fanciest wheels they do for the Fiat 500, I think, compared to the bog standard ones. Yeah. But anyway, I'll try and include a bit of this because someone's going to say, a Fiat 500 video's a video.
A nice colour as well, isn't it? Different colour.
What did I keep calling it when we won it? Cappuccino. And then you looked up the colour and it's...
Yes, it's got it on here as Mocha Latte. Mocha Latte.
Mocha Latte, so I was nearly there.
Yeah.
In an ideal world, this wants panelling up in colour, but it's one of them, innit? Can we find the bits?
Yeah.
Anyway, let's wait for this lorry to arrive. Of course, when we bought this car, we checked it out using Car Vertical, and it's interesting, this little check that we have done. So, overview, theft, odometer, financial and legal, damage, natural disaster, market value, emissions, specs, equipment, safety, ownership, and timeline. Everything is available in one place with your Car Vertical check, and by using the little code up on screen you're going to get a nice little discount off your check. Odometer looks good, financial and legal looks good. Let's click straight on damage. We know we buy damaged cars. This vehicle was damaged. The vehicle was marked as an insurance write-off. Scrolling a little further down, November 24, N repairable, non-structural. So you've got the last known selling on there, last known amount, but the bit I really wanted to go to on here was timeline, and that is only 8 records found, and that's the registration date, the inspection date, and you can see on its first inspection, near side front tyre worn close, offside front tyre worn close. Now on these checks it does tell you a lot because it's all here in timeline. You've got, it was on sale there on the 5th 2022, and on the 6th 22 it was sold. These little cars do sell very, very quick. Being in white as well, it is very, very popular. So it was only on sale for a month and it was sold. Then you can see on the next MOT, you got no advisories or no failures. Then the next MOT, no advisories, no failures. And then you got that damage detected. So this car, you can tell, has been very, very well looked after with only the first ever MOT, 2 advisories for the tyres. I want to thank Car Vertical for the continued support on the channel. Don't forget, benefit from a nice little discount off your check. Use that code or hit the link in the description where it will automatically apply your discount. I know what someone's going to say. Is it any better than a Fiat 500? It is.
Well,
and do you know what? Again, I'm going to keep saying, people do say, oh, I can't wait to see the other 3 or 4 cars you've bought. But unfortunately, we won, I mean, I don't know what day this video is going out, but Monday we won 4 cars. They've allowed us to have 1. That's on its way from Rochford now. That's another video. Also, yesterday I bid on 5 cars. They allowed us to have 1, even though we won them. And it was this. And this is a prime example of what I used to say when we put a silly little bid on something and think, we got a chance.
Yeah.
Shall I say the number? Or wait?
Yeah, wait till the end.
Wait, this car
wait till the end,
was peanuts for what it is.
I think it was.
2019, Cat-N, got a logbook, done 50,000 miles.
I mean, if you compare what I've just paid for that to this, but there you go.
Not a lot in it at all.
Not a lot in it.
And this is a lot more car,
5 years newer.
Yeah. So you can see that grille will all clip back in that bumper. There's a tiny repair to do on it. The wheel has actually been knocked off it, and it's done the wing, but it hasn't actually really done anything behind there.
No, which is
the
fortunate.
door all shuts perfect.
All in the hole, yeah. So we're going to make a bit of a list of bits. You're going to have to go and find some.
I am. We have been in the boot. We've unlocked it. There's an alley wheel in the back with a drive shaft hanging out of it. The wheel looks like it's had too much of a bang.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, that's that. But yeah, I guess I'll go out and get some bits. And in the meantime, you're messing around with.
Well, I may as well. I guess get that in the workshop and pull it apart. Yeah.
Yeah, do it, mate. Yeah, definitely.
Right. And if I get a chance, I'll give this a wash down while you're out.
100%.
And
someone's going to mention Dan's bike still there in the background. Yeah. He left it here, and we went to lift it up and broke the little cover off the back. So we're just waiting for a new one to arrive. Right, mate, I'll leave you to it. Like you've never seen us do this before, although it has been quite some time. So very easy to get the back bumper off because they'd already removed it. There was no bumper bar in there or any nuts and bolts for it. So Chris just pulled it off and then started stripping the loom out of the boot. Dan just did stop him there because he needed a hand lifting something. They're currently working on a project in the other room. Chris pulls the wiring out of it. He got just 2 bolts on the tailgate on this. And of course, they both lift it off. That is all the damage removed from that little car. I went down to Reclamat. I got him a boot lid, back bumper bar and a back bumper, and as fast as I arrived he went, get them in the workshop. I cut the back window out. Red, anyone will know who works on cars, is the worst colour to go over the top of, so this is going to need to go in primer as well. But I've rung the paint shop, Mike round the corner. He said, get it round here, Rob, and I'll get it done for you by Friday. So as fast as I arrived with it, Chris pulled it in the workshop, I pulled it all apart, and he's flatted it off, ready to go round now. And then if we go back into the, I won't go right into the workshop, but you can see he got all that stripped down now. That's all of the damage off, so that's ready to go back together. And we're going to try and go edge to edge on the paint. He's got the bumper sitting there. There's the bumper bar, that can go black, but the rear bumper, he's going to crack on, get that flatted off, get it in the back of the van, and just like that, it's going to be round the paint shop, and then we can get this one back together. Now the tailgate, of course, it does sit flush there, doesn't it? So hopefully there's not much in it. But Mike did say, bring the old bumper and I'll do a colour match off of that. So fingers crossed, I think we'll be all right. Let's get it all flattened off and get it round the paint shop. So in with a little Volkswagen up. As soon as we unloaded it off the lorry, unfortunately, his phone did lose that bit of time lapse of unloading it. We loaded it straight onto a 4-wheel trolley, so the car was quite easy to actually wheel around. We had it on charge out there for a while, so it had a bit of battery power as well. All the lights came on there, but we're not going to start it just yet. Doing a bit of an inspection while I'm actually out getting some bits, and I think Chris has found, actually I'll show you later on in the video, but yeah, he's basically just seeing if I need to pick up any parts while I'm out. So now onto the front bumper and that front wing, just removing. The front bumper's going to go again, that can be repaired. It will all clip back together, it will warm up and straighten out. And then of course that front wing is just 10 mils. And then he said the one right up on the A-post there was actually stuck in there, and he's had to unwind the thread from the inside with a pair of grips. So he'll have to run a tap through that, and of course we'll put a new bolt in it. But just getting that unbolted, absolutely mint front wing in colour. Down here we've got those rams for the electric tailgate on that BMW estate car. That is something we haven't changed, so I'm going to give it a go. Also, in that glove there is all of the nuts, bolts, clips and everything that held that wing on. And then in the back we got a wheel with centre cap and a tyre, subframe, complete suspension leg with lower arm, drive shaft, drop link, brake caliper, hub, brake flexi hose, every single bit, wheel arch liner, and in that yellow bag comes all of the clips, bits, nuts and bolts that come off. And where are we? Brentwood Auto Spares. Huge thank you to them once again. I went on eBay yesterday, spotted that they had the parts for this car, rung up Rob and said, we've got this one in the yard, it's on 3 wheels, I need all of that stuff, how soon can I have it? And he said, pop down for it in the morning, mate, we'll have it all ready for you. So if you live in Essex or the surrounding area and you need any parts for your car, give Brentwood Autos a call. I would say I'll put their link in the description, but you know I'm probably going to end up forgetting. So all you got to do is Google Brentwood Auto Spares and their number and all their details and address will pop up. Right, let's get back to the yard and get this car back on its wheels. How about that for lightning fast car parts collection?
That's good, wasn't it?
And removal. I think, well, you've just been through it.
Yeah.
I think we got everything for it.
Yeah, really good, that.
That subframe, did it have much damage on it?
Yes, there.
Yeah.
The donk there.
Yeah, it has.
And obviously the wishbone we knew about, so we'll...
Legs out, everything is ready to start putting the new stuff in.
Yeah.
About the Flexi, Chris, is that...
Yeah, it's total, doesn't it? Because we had...
Oh, yeah, no, what I'm saying is it's still bolted in there, so there ain't actually any damage there at all.
No,
the new one can bolt straight in.
Yeah.
So I guess that's, start the process of building it all back up?
Yeah, I guess we can...
Shall I put the leg in while you're doing that?
I'll remove the anti-roll bar and the good wishbone and pop them on that one, because they're not... Well, you know, you've lifted that in, they're not heavy, are they?
No.
So I'll put that onto there ready, because I got Dan to help me lift it off, and then we'll hold it up and 2 bolts in it.
Yeah.
And get that on, and then, then we'll get the cup out the drive shaft, I suppose, out the gearbox.
Yeah, hopefully, mate, this is going to be back on the road shortly.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of an oil leak. I don't know if you've mentioned that.
I think it's got a hole in the sump.
It's got a tiny pinhole in the sump.
Oh, it has?
Yeah.
Because when I looked at the pictures on Copart, I could see that the sump was sitting on the floor.
Yeah.
So that's what, sat on a stone or something like that, maybe?
Yeah. I mean, it is literally a tiny little indent, and you can see a little weep there. So
should I whip that over and have that welded up?
Well, what I was going to say was we'll get this all fired together.
Yeah.
Because it's not leaking at a serious rate that we can't run it. That's since it's been in here, so what's that, 2 hours?
Yeah.
So we'll put some oil in it and run it, and we can make sure it all drives all right, can't we?
Yeah.
And then
get it off.
Because once the sump's off, it's again, we can't move it, can we?
No.
Really? So.
All right then, mate.
All right, mate.
Let's crack on and get it put back together. And now with that subframe off, all them new parts there, we can put that new subframe back on there and then start the process of building the car back up. Of course, your subframe is your main component, so you're going to need that in there to get the lower arms on it. Although I actually think, yep, Chris already put the lower arms in the subframe before he fitted it on the car. So with that on, it is just a continuation of fitting the parts on. We got the leg to go in, you got a brake pipe to go on there, ABS sensors broke, and you got both your lower arms to go into the leg, including on the passenger side where it's been removed. But he's pretty much getting there with it, and it's not going to be long before we have this one back down on the ground and hopefully on its wheels. Just before moving on to that epic amount of work that you just completed in one sitting on the time lapse, you've dropped the oil, and good job we did not fire that key.
Clearly leaking worse than I thought it was.
It wasn't down as a running driver, it's, I think we're all right there. They've picked it up, and anyone's noticed there's obviously been oil everywhere, because we left it outside last night, and unfortunately it's dropped a bit on your tarmac. So when putting this together, I mean, I didn't mention it in the time lapse. That's the disc that come with the leg that we've got from Brentwood Autos. Of course, we're not going to use that. There'd be a serious imbalance. Obviously, this one's worn. Nowhere near as bad as the ones that are actually on this car, which are awful. They got a huge lip on them. We're going to need oil filter, so I've just ordered discs and pads for it. Yeah. So that'll be nice new set of discs. And it's silly not to do them while it's up in the air and the wheels are off. Yeah. So I'm going to go and grab them, and while I do that, Chris is actually going to whip that sump off so that I can take it somewhere and have it repaired, because it is literally a tiny little hole in it there. And I'll have that zapped up. There's no point replacing that. No. Aluminium welding, it's going to be as strong as anything. So yeah. I'll leave you to do that, mate. I'll go and grab all the bits.
Oh. Lovely.
So with that on, it is just a continuation of fitting the parts on. We got the leg to go in, you got a brake pipe to go on there, ABS sensors broke, and you got both your lower arms to go into the leg, including on the passenger side where it's been removed. But he's pretty much getting there with it, and it's not going to be long before we have this one back down on the ground and hopefully on its wheels. So I'm just going around the outside of the sump there now. I've had it repaired with some high temperature sealant. Get that up on there, and then there's just loads of little star drives around the outside, and then there's 4 that are really awkward to get to. They actually go in as a bit of an angle. Also 3 of the bell housing bolts come out of the gearbox and they go through the sump as well. They're very similar on all these little 1 litres, but once I've got all of those done up, let that dry for a little while and it's ready for some oil. I actually forgot to show you guys the sump. There it is, little puddle weld on there, absolutely perfect. He ground it back, so there was like quite a hollow there, and he said, well, it gets that, and it removed the damage where the stone had pushed in it, and it was just an impression of a stone. That's been repaired, and you can see through there, Chris has put the brand new oil filter on, got the oil there, the discs and pads are all looking good. We're going to put some oil in it, and for the first time, we got our fingers crossed. Yeah. It's going to start. Should be fine, shouldn't it? Yeah. And then we've got to bleed the brakes. We can actually see if it drives as well. I'm sure it was driving all right when it crashed.
Well, that's always what we say, isn't it?
Yeah. Right, let's get some oil in it. 3 point something litres. And with that all done, oil filter on, oil in, I'm going to do the air filter as well and bleed the brakes. So I've got the Easy Bleed out there. For anyone who's going to be bleeding brakes, I recommend buying one. They're very cheap and very easy to use. You use the pressure out of the tyre, maximum 20 psi, and I made light work of bleeding both of them front brakes, and they're completely done. Out with the air filter, that was a silly design. In with a new one, do them up, and we're done. Well, mate, moment of truth.
Yep. No leaks at the moment.
No.
I suppose turn the key.
All you can do is try it. Yeah, I don't hold that much hope on that battery, but the charger's saying it's charging, so all right. Give it a go. I've bled the brakes.
Oh, well done. Yeah. We've had a bad run with flat batteries lately.
Yeah, we have. Everything's arrived with a flat battery.
Everything's had a dead battery.
I'll tell you what, Chris, 1 second, hang on.
Right.
Where that's better. That aircon pipe was really close to the pump. Was it? Maybe where we'd had it off. Yeah, go on, mate, try that.
Well,
did you not expect that to do that?
All like went straight out. All we got's tyre.
Flat tyre, yeah. Do you want to just try drive? Yeah. It's got little LED lights in it.
Has it?
Yeah.
It's got air conditioning.
It's only a little 3-cylinder, it's going to sound like that, isn't it? Let's see if it's charging. 1 sec, mate.
Yeah.
Got no battery light on or anything, have you?
No, all good. Got over half a tank of fuel. No warning lights, anything. Just that low tyre pressure.
Get her knocked off, mate. Let's get it put back together.
They're the type ones we like, aren't they?
Yeah. I can't believe it, really, from the picture.
That's
and,
good.
of course, how cheap this was.
Yeah.
Because it was cheap, wasn't it?
Yeah. Nice little car, you know.
Definitely.
Yeah, very nice.
All right, mate, let's get it knocked off and I'll start building it up. You might as well try that as well once you turned it off, see if it starts back up.
Right.
If not, I'll get a battery for it. Looks like it's going to be a good one.
Well, that's good.
Let's do it. And now that is it. It is time to put the car back together. So Chris chucked the wing back on, checked the bonnet gap. I'd already warmed up and repaired the bumper. We've got the bumper fitted back on there. There is just the little bolts along the top edge that hold it. And then you've got one up underneath each wheel arch. And then I'll move on, of course, to the wheel arch liners. Passenger wheels back on, driver's side wheel back on. Lower it down, get them cracked up, get the writing off the window. Chris is cracking on with something else in the background there, but to say that we're over the moon with this would be a little bit of an understatement. This car does need some paintwork, but we'll get to that in a minute. That's that little car, all put back together. Let me include a picture of what this car looked like just yesterday. And look at it now. Repairing cars in colour is always a massive, massive... Look at the smile on his face. He won't talk because he's got no mic on, but we are pretty chuffed with that. Like I say, the only light we got on there, you can see, is your tyre light. But of course, as usual, I'm going to jump in this little car. Tray plates are in it. And I'm going to run it over for wheel alignment, which I don't think's that far out, to be honest, because we only changed the track rod in this side. I'm going to run it over for wheel alignment, have them all balanced, because of course we've got a new wheel on there as well. And then, yeah, I guess we'll just go from there. But pretty chuffed with that car, and I can't wait to tell you just how little we did pay for it. Let's go and get it done. That's not too bad, is it really, considering that Chris done it by eye. But we got Anthony underneath. He's just going to... Is it just this one wheel, or do we have to do both?
Got a little tweak up on the other side or nothing.
Maybe a little tweak up on the other side, but all the balancing's done. And that TPMS light's gone out now. I thought it had TPMS sensors in the tyres, but turns out it hasn't. It's just obviously a flat tyre warning, but you can see that arrow there, we're in the green. And then, of course, it knocks the other one out, so he'll have a tweak on that. Right, let's let him do his thing. So the most exciting part, I always say, of any build, and that is going to the Key Street car wash. Look how lovely this little car come up. I can't wait to get back to the yard, crunch the numbers and tell you guys how much we actually paid for this car. I still can't believe it now. What do you reckon on that then, mate? Little one-day turnaround.
That is the way to do it, isn't it?
I'm going to say, this does show you ain't got to buy a 10 grand car to earn a couple of grand profit, because we're just about to crunch the numbers on this and it's going to shock a lot of people. Number one, you wouldn't even tell that that car was in that condition when it arrived here. Someone eagle-eyed is going to notice that that centre cap in that wheel is black and the rest of them are actually white, which I only noticed once it was clean. But look at the little car. So it has got a little mark and a dig there. It's got that, you've actually knocked that dent out there. That is a bit of glue, that'll come off. And then you've got them little bits there.
Well, we'll probably touch them up.
Yeah.
Because we've decided this is not going to the paint shop, haven't we?
It can go to the paint shop, but we are going to try and sell it as it is. Also, after it was cleaned, there is one little bit that was brought to light that neither of us had noticed. There's actually a little dent here somewhere on the roof. Can you see it just there?
Oh, what a shame.
But it's been there quite a while because there's a little rusty mark, but it is only a tiny little pin dent. And like you say, we are actually going to chuck this one. I'm going to drive it all weekend. And then next week, I'm going to chuck this on Instagram and give someone a chance to buy it as is. Or we'll chuck it and get the paintwork done and ask more money. Look at this side of it, Chris. It is absolutely like new.
For someone as a first car,
yeah, it's perfect.
they're probably not worried he's got a couple of marks on it.
No, definitely not.
Because like you say, it'd be reflected in the price. I'd say it'd be the cheapest one in the country.
Definitely there. And even...
Nice on the miles, I think, as well.
Yeah, 50 odd thousand. One thing I will say I am going to do, because even though it's April, if you date it out, it's the 4th of April, it has only got 2 months MOT left. So I'm going to run it down next week for an MOT. So it'll come, we've serviced it, it's going to come with a nice new MOT. And I think, like you say, it's got new discs and pads. Yeah, it's got everything going for it.
So there was a receipt in it for tyres?
Yeah, there is. Yeah, I've put it in there, yeah.
It's had new boots on it, hasn't it?
It's literally got everything going for it, that little car. It's even got 2 keys and the V5 with it. I ain't looked, but I think it's probably... I'm going to have a quick look now, because you can't see people's names and addresses on them anyway, because they... And also, you found something in it. It's quite local. It's from Maidstone, which is the next town down from us. And the receipt that's in there for the tyres is Maidstone as well. So,
Yeah, brilliant.
let's go inside and crunch them numbers, mate. You ready, boss?
All good, mate.
This should be easy, shouldn't it?
It's a very short one, this one. So,
Just going to say before we start, obviously we always assume the worst, and we did think that there was going to be a bit of damage on the edge of the A-post. So, although we encourage you to try and buy a bargain from Copart, please don't just assume that it's going to be this easy, because that was very, very easy for us. We all like them like that, but it don't come often.
no.
Go on, mate.
No, as we always say, there's always a risk. Isn't
Yeah,
there?
always.
But
Yeah.
it's like a calculated risk.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Okay, so we got purchase price on that is $13.50 plus fees, which came out at $1,738.80.
Cheap.
Yeah. Delivery, 70 quid. Parts. Now you want to give them.
We got really, really looked after, of course, by Brentwood Auto. So I've got their card somewhere. They've been absolutely amazing to us. I am going to put their link in the description. I won't forget.
Yeah.
And if you need to get it fast, you can Google. They will look after you. They're absolutely fantastic down there. So thank you again, guys.
Yeah. And they've done everything for us to repair that car for $250.
Yeah, which is amazing.
Brilliant. And so we've put down for you collecting that a bit of fuel, £25.
And the toll, yeah.
Then we've got service kit, $138.31.
That does include discs and pads.
Yes.
So
Yes.
nice and cheap.
And then we've gone 4-wheel alignment and balance, £55. Valet, £20. MOT, £40. There's one thing that's just, what did the weld in the sun cost us?
I know, done it for free.
Right.
Yeah. a bit
So
of
that
flavour.
comes out at a grand total of 2,337.11, which,
Can we have a few more of them next week?
not hard.
It's brilliant.
Now, you've had a look, haven't you, to see what sort of money they're making.
The cheapest one on there is done a few more miles than that, and it's $6.5 grand.
Yeah, and there was a lot around that price.
There
wasn't
was,
there?
yeah.
So we've decided to sell that car as it is,
Yeah, with no paint
with
work.
no paint, or offer it as it is,
Yeah.
for 4,500,
Yeah.
which is $2 grand behind.
Yeah, it's a lovely, lovely profit for us. It's well behind what the
Yeah.
others are going for, and it
Yeah.
is a lovely little low mileage car.
And that gives us a pre-tax profit of £2,162.89p. Thank you very much.
And we'd take that all day long, won't we?
mate. Yeah.
I'm going to MOT that car on Monday. I'm going to run it all next week. And when I say run it, if I've got to pop to Essex to get bits for another car, I'll go in that, just put a few miles on it,
Yeah.
get it MOT'd, and then it will pop up on Instagram for sale. I know that there's quite a few cars you are all waiting to pop up on there. The Evoque, I'm just coming to my end of running that car. That is going to be going up very, very soon. The estate car is actually going off somewhere to be fixed because me and you have give up scratching our heads with it. Yeah, so they are all coming up very, very soon. Of course, if you want to be in with a chance to buy one of our cars, you need to be following us on Instagram at Salvage Rebuild. And once they do go live, and only when they go live, you email us at sales@gmail.com. The link for that is in the description down below, as is all of the links for our other socials, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, all of it. It's all on
we
there.
always
isn't
say
it?
that's kind of the fairest way
Yeah,
and it seems to work best.
Yeah, mate,
that way.
definitely,
So
yeah.
that's how we do it.
that's the end of the first video on the little Volkswagen Up, and the end of the series on the Volkswagen Up.
yeah.
You're going to get on with a Fiat 500 in the background. I've now got to go pick up the tailgate and boot
We
in for that.
probably show the Fiat 500 done in maybe a future video.
Yeah, definitely.
Or whatever comes next, we don't even know, do we?
We don't.
No.
And we don't give up our sort of what's coming up next, but you'll be pleased to know that the Maserati is very, very soon. You'll also be pleased to know that the Fiat 600 is going to be very, very soon. We've just been trying to get a lot of the parts in order so that we can start those videos.
Yeah.
So that is going to be the end of today's video. As usual, if you did enjoy it, we'd appreciate that thumbs up. Don't forget, if you haven't already, like, subscribe and share, and we'll look forward to seeing you all very, very soon in the next one.
No joke, Rob.
No. Oh, I have got a joke.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Pop it up.
So, three brothers from the Isle of Sheppey.
Give Dan a shout. He can.
Dan?
Yeah.
Three brothers from the Isle of Sheppey.
Yeah.
Two of them leave for the mainland. Bloke goes into a pub on a Friday. He says, I'll have 3 pints, please, to the barman. Barman gives him 3 pints, thinks that his mate's coming. He has a sip of one, sip of the other, sip of the other one, sip of that one, keeps going until they're all completely gone. And he goes back to the bar, he says, I'll have another 3 of them, please. So he's had another 3. Bloke's gone. Next Friday, come back, done exactly the same thing again. And the guy said, mate, if you want a cold beer, why don't you just have them one at a time? He says, no, what it is me and me brothers, they've obviously emigrated to the mainland, and we all go out on a Friday for a drink. So I have their drink and his drink and my drink, and they do the same in the pub. The barman said, oh right, okay, yeah, whatever floats your boat. So he's drunk them, he's drunk the other 3, and this is going on for months. Same thing every week, every Friday. Then he walks in there last Friday, he says, I'll have 2 pints, please. He sits down, 1 sip, 1 sip, 1 sip, 1 sip. He goes back to the bar and he says, I'll have another 2. And the barman says, I don't really want to pry. There's one of your brothers died. He said, no, I've given up drinking. It's pathetic, isn't it?
I do.